Well, hello and welcome to Bowtie Life. This is the third and final part of the garden tours for October of 2023, where we talk about the raised garden beds. And they look beautiful. Things have stopped producing. Things are still producing. I've given up on a few things because we already have enough. Yeah, there's a lot going on out here right now. So stick around and let's take a look at everything that's happening this month. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So to begin with, we have the map of the area that we're going to be dealing with. This is the map of our total property, 100 foot wide by 106 foot deep. It's a little under a quarter of an acre of a middle of Destin, in the middle of Destin, Florida. The garden beds that we're going to be looking at are these in the backyard, and I'm going to pull these out of here so we can kind of get an idea of where we're looking at and what's going on. And we are going to start right down here with the GreenStalk. So just a quick note on our weather. We have had some beautiful, beautiful weather. It has been upper temperatures in the upper 70s, lower 80s, and the nighttime lows have been in the upper 60s and lower 70s. And so things are thriving, and fall has set in. I'm still fully expecting to see something kind of like Indian summer where it's going to get hot one more round, but I don't know. We'll have to see. We do have in here, these strawberries are just looking amazing. There's strong new growth going on down in there, and they are looking green and lush. The basil, of course, is looking huge, looking fresh. We have parsley. In fact, there's a big old parsley plant right over here that just looks amazing, and we take cuttings off of this every once in a while when Mrs. Bowtie needs some parsley for cooking. That's about all that's left in here, though, right now. We had some dill down there. We had a few other things in here that just have not really made much of an impression for my GreenStalk experience. It still does get water. Look at how tall this basil is, though. It is really shooting up. I have not rotated it nearly as much as I was hoping to, and that guy ended up on the back side, and he's over 2 feet long. So as I said in the intro, lots of things are happening up in here. It's been very productive. We actually had 4 Kajari melons that were growing, and I ended up picking them all because they looked like they got shot with buckshot. All the insects and things that had bored into them, leaving little holes. It really looked like it had buckshot in them. There are still male and female flowers coming in this, so it should be doing good. It should be coming up with a new melon here soon. The problem with those other melons, I did not put them in bags, the organza bags like I normally do, and they just, well, completely got ate up. There's a female flower right there. Looks like it's getting ready to be pollinated. There's plenty of male flowers all over the place. Finding the female flowers, they're fewer and farther between. And I'm looking here, there's tons of, oh, there's another female flower right there. See the little fruit right there? So hopefully if those get pollinated, I'll do a better job keeping an eye on them. And hopefully we have enough warm weather left in the season to get them developed and fully ripened. I don't know that we do. We'll just have to see. Ooh, what is this? Where'd it go? This is a new flying thing. It's a black and white thing. Looks like what Simon said had making a nest on their store a month or two ago. Okay, so these beds, I just wanted to talk about the beds. And yes, there's a lot of weeds in here. Oh, there's a nice female flower right there. Look at that. That's beautiful. So yeah, these weeds, I do pull them occasionally, and They have really gotten out of hand, I know. And I have been, if you look here, this is the dollar weed, and it is just so therapeutic to pull these up because you end up pulling up just several feet of these roots up. I've got grasses growing in here, which I've allowed to get way too far. But if you come in here and pull the grasses up first, the rest of it just kind of comes with it. So this, I use this as my therapy some days and just come in here and grab, look at that handful that you can pull out all at once. It's awesome. When the soil is light and airy like this, it is just real easy to pull a whole bunch of this stuff out. And I just leave them out here to fry in the sun on the patio. Okay, so the patio. Yes, the patio is very overgrown. I do have plans to redo this. In fact, the patio goes all the way back over there somewhere, but it is so grown in. The mistake I made here when I put it in, I filled in with sand between the tiles, and I should not have done that. I have since worked with polymeric sand, which actually seals the cracks and doesn't let things grow, and that's what I need to do here. That's what I intend to do. So, okay, back to the Kajari melons. Yes, looking at the other side over here, lots of flowers in there. I wish I had gotten what is this? Oh, it's a ladybug. Oh, that is a real ladybug too. Oh no, it's not. It's the, I cannot tell. It looks like a real ladybug. We've been getting some of those Asian beetles that look like ladybugs, which I don't mind them either. They eat aphids too. Their larva does. So either way, coming down here, we have the ginger. And the ginger did suffer a bit this winter. They've got completely overgrown by weeds in there. I've cleared up some of the stuff on the other side over there. Not this side yet. But they are still growing. And they are making edible ginger, which is very nice. I do want to point out, before we go to this next trellis, look at across here. This is Blackberry. And they've gotten so long, they've started weaving in. I helped them. I had to help them. Started weaving into this arch trellis over here, and they will continue to do that. This is what I've been doing with these. As they get long enough, I'll weave them in somewhere else where they can start doing well. The cucumber over here. Now this is the cucumber that Emerson, my grandson, helped me grow, and we are actually getting some production off of there. Not anything overly impressive. This is kind of a weird one. Partially pollinated flower. That's what causes that, I think. But there's still some more up inside here. We're about to do a day of preserving, and we're doing some spicy bread and butter pickles out of a lot of these. So I've got about 9 pounds, maybe a few more pounds. We're going to look at the other cucumber plant here in a minute. All these blackberries are just going nuts, though. In fact, you can see here, look at this. This thing comes from way over there. 12 feet away, maybe? And of course, then it goes up first. So yeah, that's some very long blackberries. Thornless blackberries, which makes it really nice. Okay, so the okra forest does not look nearly as impressive as it used to. And I'll be honest, I try keeping my ladder out here so that I could always harvest. Well, frankly, we're tired of harvesting okra. And there's big okra that's just simply gone too big to even eat anymore. Like that one right there, I guarantee you is not fresh anymore. Oh yeah, it's you break the tip off and you can tell it's fibrous. That thing is not fit for eating. However, this little one right here, oh, do you see how that snapped? That little one is good. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Nice fresh okra. At some point I will be, when I take down these trees, which they really are trees. I mean, look how big these things are. This is not the biggest one, but it's still pretty big. Look across over here at this monster right there. That's the base of an okra plant. Can you believe it? It's huge. I think that is my second biggest one. If I come around here, again, you can see up there on the top. Let me see if I can zoom in right there. You can see there's a bunch of okra there. It's beautiful. But yeah, it's all going to go to seed and not be worth it anymore to collect. Look at these though. These are beautiful. Look how red they are. Get me out of the sun here. You see, I break that top and it doesn't pop off. It's very fibrous, but the red comes from the sun being on it. I know that because, well, like this one here, the sunny side is red, the non-sunny side is green. I think this is my largest okra tree over here though. Yeah, this is the big one. Look at that, how massive this thing has gotten. Just enormous. That is okra. Well, I call it an okra tree. Okay, so coming around here, we've had kind of hidden behind the okra, we have these marigolds. These are marigolds. I know what they are, and they are looking beautiful. They've been in the shadows of the okra for all summer and have not produced. In fact, this is the very first time I've actually seen flowers on them. So yeah, this is kind of a nice change to finally have flowers, and it gives the bees something to munch on. There's all kinds of new flowers coming out, but they are starting to get sun, which is quite beneficial. So from the marigolds over there, we come back over here. Blueberries everywhere, just taking over everything. I'm sorry, I said blueberries. These are blackberries taking over everything in here. I'm just letting them go. We will clear this bed out at another time and have tons of blackberries next year when we start harvesting. The peach tree here, I've done nothing with it. The turmeric, also done nothing with that. It's also had far too much sun for its liking, so that is beginning to suffer. And that, of course, brings us from bed 1 into bed 2, and look at what we have here. I think it's a fritillary butterfly, just sitting there looking at us. That's beautiful. He's sitting here on the cucumber plants, the rest of the cucumber plants that have been producing quite prolifically. And in fact, I need to come over to the other side, but I think there was one, yeah, there's a nice big cucumber right underneath here that's ready to harvest. Ooh, it's a little floppy. That's kind of icky feeling in the middle. Not too great. Let me go over to the other side over there. So we're here on the other side, and there goes a lizard, but he's been protecting a very nice looking cucumber right there. There's a few others in here. This thing's gonna make some more. Oh, in fact, I did not see this one. You see that one right there? That's a good looking cucumber. We will add that to our round of bread and butter pickles. That's beautiful. I don't really see any holes in it or anything. Awesome. So the cucumbers, Suyo Long, that's what all I'm growing this year is Suyo Long. There, you can see there's small ones in here developing. There's a bee right there, and there's bees all over this thing, still pollinating and making life happen. Suyo Long's looking good. The beans, our bean wall, little sparse as it compared to last year. It still has been producing. I have been harvesting beans off of these every few days, and then you can see here, we still have things from small beans all the way up to fully developed beans like that. In fact, there's a newly formed bean and a fully developed bean on the same place. We've harvested many pounds of beans. We've eaten some, we've canned some. We just did a canning video on these. And this is the the raised bed bean wall. In fact, I see two right there, almost ready to pick. They're starting to, oh, I see a whole bunch of them right there. Yeah, need to get some more picking done out here. It's been a couple days since I picked beans. So the bean wall is doing great. And then in front of the bean wall here, we have some peppers. And I'm gonna run down the row here. The Peppadew is the first one. Of course, this was what I discovered at a fancy restaurant. This thing is starting to produce. We've had very sparse production on these, but look at how beautiful these are. Peppadew is kind of a mild, kind of jalapeno level pepper. It is often served in fancy dishes as a just a skillet, I don't know, seared thing that gets served on the side of a dish. There are tons of these in here though, and this plant is really starting to produce too. So I'm very excited to have those. We have some more down the other end we'll get to here in just a moment. The basil plant, this thing surprisingly has not gone to very much seed. You can find some seed heads in here, but I don't know what's going on here. I would have thought there would be more seed heads on this by now. A lot of my other basil has these big long seed heads on them. This one might be getting eaten, I'm not sure. So we have a lot of Thai hot peppers. I'll be picking these here pretty soon. We got 2 plants of Thai hot. Thai hot sticks straight up. In between them, the Dragon Cayenne hang down. You can see there's a whole bunch of them in there. Just getting ready to ripen up. I've been keeping the Dragon Cayenne pretty well picked, but there's still some here. You see how it's hanging down though, like that? That's how to tell Dragon Cayenne from Thai hots. The Thai hots keep themselves more upright when they're on the plant. So we'll be harvesting all these Thai hots here pretty soon. Next to that, we have more Peppadew, and I think I have 2 or 3 plants. Yeah, 3 plants in here. So again, these Peppadew are starting to produce prolifically, and some of them are starting to turn colors and look beautiful. And they're going to be turning red when they become ripe. But there's, between this plant and these 3 plants and the one at the other end, I probably have 100 Peppadew on here. So from the pepper plants, the row of chilies we are coming into the tomato arch trellis. And this has become quite the hodgepodge. We have, first off, we have some super sweet 100s. That's what these plants are, and they are growing. Even though the bottoms look brown, they are growing everywhere. We have a lot of these super sweet 100 coming out now. You can see here, that's super sweet 100. There's more over here. This vine is actually grown all the way across the trellis. We're going to be, in fact, there's one that's almost ripe. These are kind of small, but let me step up here on the wall. I want to show you even smaller. We have the Everglades tomatoes, and these Everglades are growing from this massive plant. But see, there's one right there. Whoop, I just knocked off. Let me get over there on the other side and show you how big this thing is. So yeah, these Everglades tomatoes have grown up so wide. We had them on strings, but look, they come all the way from here, way over here. They're over 14 feet across. They are growing just these beautiful Everglades tomatoes. They're little tiny ones. They are just so flavorful, just super rich flavor. It's like a tomato concentrated. They are delish. And so these huge plants are just beginning to produce prolifically and make these little tomatoes all over the place that are just like candy. We get a bowl of them and just eat them like popcorn. But you can see all through here, they are really starting to produce just prolifically, layer upon layer of tomatoes. Beautiful little tomatoes. They are small. Kind of like eating candy, though. It really is. They are just so rich and flavorful. A lot of grasses growing up in there. I have not even bothered with this. Just picking what is available. Delish. So going for, in fact, I can see just all the way up in the top up there. I don't know if you can see on camera. There's tomatoes growing all through there. So coming from the end of bed number 2, which is also surrounded by bees, because there's tons and tons of flowers up in there. We've got the aloe, which are just doing their thing. We're hoping to propagate out some more aloe and spread these out a little better. Do something more reminiscent of what we used to have here when we had just tons of aloe growing through here, and I can't wait till this starts blooming again. So we didn't get any blooms this year because of the cold we had over Christmas. A lot of it died. This is just a fraction of what we had over here. So bed number 3, the hot peppers. Of course, this Tabasco plant is enormous. Goes all the way from over there down to over here, and has produced so many Tabasco peppers. And I harvest and I come back out and harvest again and come back. In fact, you can see how many, like this one little area right here. Look at all these I've harvested. But it just keeps producing like crazy, I tell you. There is a jalapeno under here that's still producing. You can see there's half a dozen right there. And then behind that, of course, we have 3 Scotch bonnet. I have harvested a lot from these 3 Scotch bonnet plants. There are more under here. Let's see here. I see there's, oh, that's a fatale right there. Where'd that come from? I guess I have a fatale plant in here somewhere. Oh, here's a Scotch bonnet. Look at that. Look at that. It is beautiful. Beautiful Scotch bonnet pepper. Yeah. Wonder if I can get that off of there. Oop, gracefully, almost gracefully. We'll stick that in the shirt pocket. I am not going to eat that for you. I'm sorry. It's a little hot and I'm not in the mental state for it right now. Here's more fatale peppers. These are about as hot as Scotch bonnets. This plant right in here with the more crinkly leaves, these will be producing here in about 3 or 4 weeks. We'll be able to make a new harvest off of this, which I already have 2 gallons of fatale, so we'll just have to see what I do with them. This peri-peri under here is kind of giving up its last. You can see the leaves are starting to wilt on it. I think it may, oh, that is actually a broken branch right there. I see now. I wasn't sure what was going on. We do have some fatale peppers. I'm not fatale. These are peri-peri peppers on there. Our shishito down here is still producing shishito peppers, which we have not eaten many of since the fated mistake in peppers. Go back and look back for the story on that. Okay, so this mammoth jalapeno, this thing is starting to produce again, so that's kind of exciting to see. We're going to get another round out of this season. There are some pretty big ones here. Can you see that one? I can't see my camera, so I hope that's you can see that. Looking beautiful. These, oh, good grief. There are too many leaves on this thing. There we go. So tons and tons of mammoth jalapeno peppers coming out on this thing. Getting a whole new crop. It's been a good producer right there. If it had more sun, it would probably have done better. Another fatale plant right here that is really starting to ripen up. You can see these things are starting to turn yellow. However, the star over in this corner is the habanero, which we have I've already harvested a bunch of these habanero. Some of them are still green, like that one. Some of them look beautiful. That one has a green side also. There's probably 2 dozen more habaneros in there at any stage between green and orange. Not quite ready to harvest. That's the hot pepper bed. Next, we come over to the zucchini here, midway through bed number 3. We're in bed number 3. And this is my 3rd attempt. You remember I tried some zucchini over there against the fence. That was a terrible mistake. So we're doing it here, and I want to show you from the other side over there what we've got. So these leaves are looking really healthy. We have 3 plants under here, and if I pull back some of the leaves, you can see we're starting to get male flowers. You can see down there is a male flower. There's a male flower getting ready to open up, which is just in time because pull back a few more leaves. You see there is what I discovered as my first female flower. You see the fruit right down there? So I'm gonna have to start treating this a little more importantly. Hopefully we can still get some zucchini off of this. There is another plant right down in here. It's kind of small and buried. And then there is one over on the other side over there as well that has not quite produced flowers, but is on the verge. So zucchini in the raised bed, and this raised bed right here, have been promising. We hadn't had anything to eat yet off of this. So there you go. Next to that, the other side of the tomato arch trellis, and of course we have, look at the Roma tomato. If you've been watching my video tours, you know I have been waiting for these to start happening. And we've got some frozen already for processing. We're getting more here now, which is very exciting because we're finally getting production out of our Roma tomatoes. We have this plant here. We have a mess over here. I think that is a Roma tomato over there. There is a Principe Borghese that's died. No, that's the Roma tomato. Oh, here's the other Roma. Oh, here it is. This is the other Roma tomato that I'm waiting to produce. It has grown up quite tall, as you can see, but I'm not seeing any flowers on here. Oh, well, there's some flowers. Maybe that'll produce, kind of on the shady side of, oh, there they are. There they are. I have not seen these yet. So there's some new Roma tomatoes coming out right there. And this branch right here is probably going to give us a few more Roma tomatoes. Not nearly enough for what we need probably. So we have more in the front yard that are starting to come out. These are more super sweet 100s. This looks like almost dead. There's still some green up here in the top. I'm looking straight up here now. And this is, okay, so you can see here, this is super sweet 100 tomatoes here, just starting to come out, which is very exciting. We will have some production here, and this is the area where I've seen a lot of them. I'm presuming these are all super sweet 100 tomatoes, just dozens and dozens and dozens. This is a prolific producer. Makes a lot of fruit when it starts producing, and it's been kind of sitting here. This thing really hadn't produced but maybe 1 or 2 before the weather got hot this summer. It's just been sitting here waiting, and now its roots are developed, its leaves are developed, and it is ready to produce, which is very cool. We do have on the other side, we have 2 Nebraska Weddings, and I cannot quite trace. I know we have a branch here with some flowers on it. I'm thinking that's probably a super sweet 100. I do occasionally come in here and pull out the dead parts of these. There is a lot here. Just far too much to get everything, but you know, as I'm walking by, sometimes I just come through here and just pick out the dead stuff to help open it up a little bit more and let the rest of the plant breathe a little bit more as it needs to. So makes good fertilizer. So next, at the end of bed number 3, do you remember what's over here? The bush that's in here? Let me slide in here close and see if you recognize all those little red berries right there. Those are goji berries. Tons and tons of goji berries. And I tell you what, I've been watching this tomato grow up over this, over the past, I don't know, month and a half. And I really hadn't been paying attention to what's been underneath, but look at how prolific this goji berry bush has been producing. Just absolute tons of them underneath here. And there's just clusters all through everywhere. Every time you lift something up. And of course there's more tomatoes. It's gonna be a mess to clean up when the season's over. But the goji berries are actually coming back, which is very cool. I need to get out here and start harvesting those en masse. Probably end up including those in some of our tomato recipes when we're canning. Goji berry is the Asian fountain of youth, superfood, and kind of neat to have those here. They came with the property. So there you have it, a quick look around the raised garden beds in the backyard. And things are starting to produce again. Fall has arrived, most definitely. We're a little over a month into the nicer weather, and everything is just starting to produce. I'm looking up right here at these Super Sweet 100s, and just dozens and dozens of tomatoes up there, of some of our favorite tomatoes. The only thing we like better is the Sun Gold. We're gonna have to get those back in here next year because we have been missing them. But anyway, just more things to plant, something to remember for next year. These videos are my own journal of things that are happening in the garden, and I use these to refer back to when I need to remember what happened last year. I've looked back at last year's videos to see when things happened, and I'll do it again next year. And as long as I make these videos, this is going to make a really good reference material for my own logging. I've tried writing in a journal. I've tried doing the photo thing. These videos are just really get my brain moving, my ADD brain moving, and just speak to me. And so this is how I decided to journal what's going on in the garden. So if you have not subscribed yet, please subscribe to Bowtie Life. We're trying to grow the community for Bowtie Life, but also the community of gardeners as a whole. And we're creating an amazing compendium of information on YouTube for anyone to learn how to garden or homestead and create food for themselves, to be more healthy, to always have some food supply, to always be in a better condition and being self-sufficient. I think that's very important. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. I appreciate it immensely. You have been my heroes. Watching those numbers grow, it's very exciting to see. And we'll be monetized one day, and we'll look back on the day we just broke 500 and think, boy, those were the days, huh? So thank you for all those who have subscribed. Thank you for watching these videos. This lets the Google and YouTube and all the others know that this is something worth watching. This is information that's good to have, and it's good to learn to be self-sufficient and be able to produce something and have some joy. You know, growing like those Everglades tomatoes that are all over me right back in here, and growing those, and that just flavor like nothing you've ever gotten. Jess Sowards over at Roots and Refuge, one of my favorite sayings of hers. She says, store-bought tomatoes taste like disappointment. And compared to what those little tiny tomatoes taste like, wow, it's so much the truth. But if you thought this was informational, educational, maybe inspirational, or just entertaining to see what's going on in the garden, please click that thumbs up and share this video on your social media with friends who might be interested in growing a garden, who might be inspired to start planting some of their own food. So, all that being said, I guess we're down to the end. This marks the end of the October 2023 garden tours, and it's been neat seeing things come back. So if you haven't seen the first two parts on the closing screen on the right side, you'll see links to the first two parts of this month's garden tours. And in the lower left corner, you'll see a link to the playlist of all the garden tours for 2023. So stick around, come back again and watch other videos, and have a blessed day.